After 4 years of refusing to hold Donald Trump accountable for his lies, conspiracy theories, and hateful rhetoric, the Republicans passed up another chance to purge those forces from their ranks, which was Thursday when they overwhelmingly opposed the Democrats' efforts to rebuke the Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, fucking cunt. And she's a fucking nut job if I ever saw one. The GOP is complaining that Democratic leaders are not only overreaching, but also setting a dangerous precedent in both punishing Greene and pursuing a doomed to fail impeachment trial for an ex-failed squatter in the Senate next week. But genuinely unprecedented events have forced Democrats to take action, and despite national outrage about the Trump's undemocratic actions, only 10 House Republicans voted to impeach him last month, and most Republicans balked Thursday at punishing Greene for espousing the dangerous lies and violent rhetoric that threatened the future of their party, with only 11 House Republicans joining Democrats in voting to kick Greene out of her committee. Before being elected to Congress from Georgia, Greene compiled a long list of unhinged comments and social media posts, including that she endorsed violence against and basically she was all for in favor of the assassination of top Democrats, 9/11 trutherism, and denials of school shootings. And for weeks she was unrepentant, at least until her fate was sealed on Thursday, when she showed shades of contrition on the House floor. Though her combative speech adopted many of the outlandish tropes of Trumpism. Paradoxically, by seeking to punish Trump and Greene, Democrats may actually be helping to perpetuate the style of the victimhood and complaints about cancel culture that each uses to crank up the anger of their radical base. Greene has seized Trump's mantle by remaining defiant and insisting that she will not apologize for her mistakes in interviews and social media posts. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy called the move by Democrats to take away the Congresswoman's committee assignments as partisan power grab. That's not really what it is, but rather than taking full responsibility for her actions in her Thursday speech, Greene said that the media that exposed her lies and lunacy is as bad as the QAnon conspiracy theory that she espoused. She called Democrats rather than Trump's rioters who invaded rather than Trump's rioters who invaded the Capitol on January 6th a mob. Yeah, she's calling Democrats a mob, but what the fuck would you call it? Those inbreeding rednecks that stormed the Capitol on January 6th, that's would be considered a mob. Now she claims she's playing the victim book. It's not just me that they want to cancel; they want to cancel every Republican. She tweeted on Thursday before the vote, and don't let this mob win. I said, but the mob didn't win on January 6th, so you're gonna try again, bitch. Greene is following a familiar playbook. Trump has long used the idea of victimhood as an anchor of his appeal to grassroots supporters who feel ostracized from the Washington establishment. In fact, one of the pillars of his defense in the Senate impeachment trial next week will be an argument that Democrats are trying to cancel his right of free speech. What he used on January 6th wasn't free speech, but which he used to discredit a fair election and to send a mob to sack the Capitol. That's a message that Greene echoed with her mask on Thursday, which read free speech because she's a dumb fucking idiot, and that was not free speech anyway, what they were doing. Greene's loss of her committee assignments may actually give her an opportunity to portray her rebuke as the result of standing up to Democrats and even establishment members of her own party. She has told her sycophants that she has raised at least $1.6 million during the uproar over the past week, and she's now sure to become a star of the conservative media and the Republican primary circuit, while establishing a template for how an extremist conspiratorial outsider can swiftly gain fame and political power in only a few weeks in Washington. And while just 11 House Republicans voted to remove Greene from her committee assignments Thursday night, 61 voted the night before to remove Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney, the third-ranking member of the conference, from her leadership partisan position over her vote to impeach Trump. Rather than showing contrition on the eve of the vote to oust her from the House committees, Greene told the Washington Examiner that in removing her from her assignments, Democrats don't even realize they're helping me. Actually, they're not really helping you. Yeah, I'm pretty amazed at how dumb you are. Yeah, I'm pretty amazed about that. She argued that the loss of her committee assignments would give her more time to help future candidates of her ilk in the 2022 midterm. She has said she hopes to keep driving the Republican Party further to the right in Trump's image, telling the Examiner that Trump is sick and tired of weak Republicans that won't fight. Yeah, I'm sick and tired of every Republican thinking that they're patriotic when they're not. Apparently looking to score points as an outsider, she also called Senate Minority Leader Moscow Mitch a turtle, well, because he kind of looks like one, and described McCarthy as all talk and no action in the interview. The entire Marjorie Taylor Greene disaster has been a meteor headed directly at the GOP conference since she won her primary. She would have been put on the bench then, said Republican strategist Rob Stutzman. But the squatter liked her and liked the QAnon crazies because they like him. But the GOP leadership needs to get on to cutting this craziness out of the party or it will proliferate. Think of Greene as a virus, because she kind of is forceful and not, I'm talking about like not like a good virus, but she's a cancer virus. Forceful and decisive action has to be taken to prevent the spread. Stutzman added, "It's difficult to see majorities in either chamber in 2022 if this defines us." But Republicans could have taken more forceful action to drive Greene and her radical sentiments from their party at any time in the last few months, or over the past year when she was running for Congress. Instead, Greene got a standing ovation from many in the House Republican Conference meeting Wednesday night. Similarly, a majority of the House Republicans voted not to certify President Joe Biden's election, relying on fantasy of lies by Trump and ignoring his failure to produce any evidence of any fraud. The former squatter on Thursday declined to answer for his seditious behavior and turned down a request by House impeachment managers to testify for his trial. But nevertheless, the vast majority of Republican senators will punt on casting judgment on the unprecedented insurrection that was incited by an outgoing squatter, but by taking refuge in the dubious claim that the trial is moot because he is a former squatter. The furor over Trump and Greene shows that even with the ex-squatter out of office, most of the Washington GOP is not willing to take issue with the radical fringe that festers among its most loyal sycophants. By backing Greene and refusing to take action against their reprehensible rhetoric, McCarthy has made it clear that he believes that the path to victory in the midterm election lies in the support of those who manage to keep extremist voters within their ranks. In the House, I tell you what's going on. I think they're trying to play both sides. Former Ohio Republican Governor John Kasich said on CNN's Situation Room on Thursday that they don't want to aggravate the people who sort of sign up to QAnon and those conspiracy theories. They don't want to aggravate them, but they also want to win the majority. It's all basically a fight for power. McCarthy's approach also means that the hopes of establishment Republicans, especially in the Senate, that the end of Trump's squadency, Trump's squadency would lead to the ideological reset for the party that are likely to be dashed in the short term at least. For many in the party, Trump's unrepentant departure after trying to tear democracy down with false claims of voter fraud and Greene's rocket to fame as a Make America Hate Again heroine are a nightmare scenario. The direction of the GOP raises the question whether its endless request to appease its most agitated base activists will yet again squander its support among more moderate voters in the suburbs where elections are won. I don't think for one as a party that we have to figure out what we stand for, and I think we got to be a party of ideas and policies and principles and get away from members dabbling in conspiracy theories. This is what a South Dakota Republican Senator John Thune had said. This is what he had told CNN's Manu Raju on Thursday. I don't think that that's a productive course of action or one that's going to lead to much prosperity politically in the future. As establishment Republicans in the Senate fret at the pandemonium being unleashed by their House colleagues, Democrats are already making an aggressive effort to brand Greene and her ilk as the authentic face of the GOP. The House Republican conference has been taken over by QAnon caucus, the Crackpot caucus, and the Conspiracy caucus at the same time. The Democratic House Caucus Chairman Hakeem Jeffries told CNN's Aaron Burnett Thursday night. The party of Lincoln is gone, the party of Reagan is gone, and the party of John McCain is gone, and now the party of Cheeto Leahy is gone. Now this is the party of the dumb cunt Marjorie Taylor Greene.